Hey everybody, Chris Avalon here, coming at you loud, live, and in color in New York City with some new celebrity news, gossip, whatever you want to call it. I know I need to shave. I'm looking a little scruffy. I'm looking a little homeless. I'm trying to give you a little homeless chic. Whatever. I got on my little ACDC shirt. It is hotter than Satan's anal walls out in these streets. I'm trying to stay warm. It is like 100 and something degrees in New York City. But nevertheless, I want to start talking about a couple of things that's been going on throughout entertainment news. I know. Last show I did was Saturday. 3 days later, it was like, 3 days later, I had to count because I almost forgot it was Tuesday. On whatever's going on, celebrity news, whatever is happening. So one of the things I want to get to is like some quick stuff that's been happening because I already know by the time Saturday comes, it's going to be way too much stuff for me to cover. So might as well just get the ball rolling in regards to that. So one of the things I wanted to basically talk about is Dave Bautista talking about leaving Guardians of the Galaxy 3 if Disney does not use James Gunn's script. So we already know he's not going to get the job back. We already know they're not going to hire him. Then he's not going to get his job back. Quite frankly, I think what should be done, and I know this is real petty, but sometimes I always feel like the success is the best revenge. If Warner Brothers was smart, or the DC Cinematic Universe, because I hate when people call it DCEU. Like, what is so extended about the DC? That's basically what it is. DCEU, DC Extended Universe. There's nothing extended about it because everybody, DC is still trying to figure out where the hell they fit in regards of the whole cinematic world thing. So I said, why not DC hire James Gunn for one of their films? They have so many movies that they're talking about coming out. I just heard that there's a Supergirl movie in the works. Like, we have the TV show, which I believe is about to go into its 4th season on the CW. But they're talking about doing a live action cinematic version of Supergirl. So I said, maybe you could hire him for that. Or maybe the Green Lantern Corps. I know there's a bunch of movies that DC has been talking about and Warner Bros. Has been talking about that they're going to be creating or putting up or this, that, and the third. Don't know which ones they're going to do. I mean, I already heard that they want to start shooting the Batman. I don't even know if Ben Affleck's going to be in it. But anyway, the Batman movie with Matt Reeves, that's supposed to be start shooting in the beginning of 2019. Excuse me. So, I don't know. Why don't DC just pick him up and do this film? Because I already said what I said about this whole thing. I think it's ridiculous that someone who wrote something inappropriate, and I get it. The jokes, whatever he was writing on Twitter, was not funny. It was insensitive. It was disgusting. Jokes about pedophilia and whatever you want to call anything like that. I don't like those type of jokes. It's offensive. It's gross. But I don't sit and go, and he paid for his sins. It was brought up in an interview with I think it was Hollywood Reporter, and this is before he started doing the Guardians of the Galaxy at the hype of it. I believe like the first one, so everybody was aware of it. I don't understand why now, because I guess Me Too is such a big thing that everybody all of a sudden is getting offended, and we're gonna start cherry picking, who we're gonna crucify on the cross based off of things they've said. Now, this is not a comparison, and I hate when people have been comparing his situation to someone like Roseanne or Donald Trump. These were people who were actively working jobs and were actively tweeting inappropriate, disrespectful stuff while they're being employed by, Roseanne by Disney. And that whole thing, even though they already knew what they were getting when they got in bed with her. So I don't even give Disney a slide with that. They knew exactly what they were getting into. They knew exactly who they were getting in bed with, but they wanted that reboot of Roseanne so bad that they were willing to deal with Roseanne's psychosis or whatever, her band of crazy. So Dave Bautista's talking about quitting. Now, I know a lot of people were saying that, they haven't heard Chris Pratt really saying that. I mean, they wrote the paper or whatever. They wrote that long little open letter or whatever that they sent out on Instagram. And then I heard some people saying, anytime celebrities, if you have a political view on something, or if you're talking about a colleague that you have, I'm no longer going to be a fan of yours because you're defending this man, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you don't know him. First of all, you haven't worked with this man and know the type of character that he has or what he's saying. You're going by something that he wrote years ago that he has since atoned for. That is something completely different than what's happening now. We can agree to disagree. It is what it is. But Dave Bautista is one of these people, if you've ever followed him, that has always not put a job before anything else. He's not someone that looks at money and jobs and all other stuff over morality. There have been things that he has walked away from. He has walked away from the world of wrestling when it was at a time when, what was it, that he and John Cena were on the come up, and John Cena was getting all the praise and the accolades, and Dave Bautista wasn't. And he was wondering, well, why am I not getting to be put? I mean, we're both successful wrestlers, or we're both successful, athletes, artists, whatever you want to call it. Why am I not getting put up for these movies, these WWE sponsored films that you were trying to push for certain people to kind of get those roles? So he walked away. And so there's been many of things that if Dave Bautista is not happy with something specifically, he has walked away from it. So I say all that to say is that I like when celebrities like, you know what? All money ain't good money. And the fact of what Disney's doing, there must be a lot of shenanigans behind it. I just know there's got to be other companies that are just salivating at the mouth over all of this drama. Because the MCU has been on such a roll with, a lot of the movies that's been coming out. Like, I just heard that Black Panther is the third film ever to gross $700 million domestically. So they've made a ton of money, and they've broke ground, and there's so many things they've been doing. So I don't know, if Dave Bautista leaves, I will kind of be upset because I can't watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and see a different actor in that role. Like, who are you going to get? Ving Rhames? I mean, if you do, you're going to have to put him in a gym, because I saw him in Mission Impossible, the recent one, and mother father looked like he ate Jodie. Now, if you know that joke, if you know who Jodie is, he was from Child, he was from Baby Boy. So if you ever see that movie, that was a Baby Boy joke, for those of you who didn't get it. But anyway, Ving Rhames looked like he done ate the whole damn cornfield. So he put on some poundage. I was like, who else would you get? Terry Crews? Like, who would you get to replace him as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy? Or could it be that, could you recast the entire team of people? Can you replace Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana? Rocket is technically a voice, and so is Groot. Like, you have Vin Diesel as Groot, so he's basically a voiceover, and Rocket is Bradley Cooper, and he's a voiceover. So I'm like, can you replace him? Can you replace the entire cast? I don't think so. I think we've become comfortable with them to the point that we like this cast as what it is. And I think if you recast everyone, or if you even recast Bautista, like when Guardians 3 comes out, whenever that is, and you find a director, if they're going to use the script or not use the script, whatever the case is, this big cloud is going to be hovering over this film of all the bullshit that was going behind the scenes. So it's going to be hard for me to sit and watch this movie without thinking about all the behind the scenes stuff that's been coming out. I know there's fans out there that don't really pay attention to the news and the gossip and all the behind the scenes Hollywood shenanigans, but for the most part, I think the hardcore fans who love Guardians are aware of what's going on. So I don't see them going into this film hopeful. They're going to be skeptical. And I think there's going to be more negativity hovering over it than positive, especially when, anytime there's a casting of something, people get all bent out of shape and troll and say all kinds of mean things that causes actors to pretty much block their Instagrams or whatever the case is. So, not block the Instagram, but basically disable the comments in the Instagram. So I'll keep you guys abreast upon that as the story develops, but it just sounds like a whole hot mess so far. Okay, so let's talk about Beyonce. So you already know she made history by appearing on the September issue of Vogue. Not that part, but the fact that there was a 22-year-old photographer what is his name? Tyler Mitchell. I'll get into the story about him for a second, but the article is really interesting. He's the first young Black photographer ever to photograph the September issue of Vogue magazine. So Beyonce basically opened up and started talking about, her emergency C-section, her ancestry, opening doors for creative people, and that sort of thing. It's a great interview. Definitely watch it. Definitely read it if you can. The highlights, basically she was saying that by the time she gave birth to Rumi and Sir, the twins, she was 218 pounds. She was swollen from toxemia. She said that she was in the NICU, and there was a point where her physical being and her kids' physical being was not good. That it was her health was in danger, and the twins' health was in danger. So they stayed in the NICU for days. Her husband has been a rock for her and very supportive. And she basically was giving a lot of praise to Jay-Z, basically saying that she is proud to see the evolution that her husband has become. Because I know a lot of y'all have been so quick to talk about, well, you know what, Beyonce, I don't know how you going to stay with him after he cheated on you, so on and so forth. I think a real woman or a real man, if you're going to be in a relationship, I don't agree with the whole, well, once a cheater, always a cheater. If you cheat on me once, I can never trust you. I feel like that if you truly love the person, you'll make the relationship work and you'll do what you need to do to sustain what you have. Now, I will go through the steps with you to figure out where we went wrong in our relationship. But if you're not willing to meet me halfway, then you part ways and you go and you do different things. You aren't so quick to just abandon ship when someone fucks you over the one time. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Well, as far as we know, it was one time. So yeah, then she was saying that she put pressure on herself to lose weight when she had Blue Ivy. How when she first gave birth to Blue Ivy, she gave herself like 3 months, and then she went and she put herself on, started touring, and basically did that to herself so that way she could lose the weight, because there was this expectation that she was going by Hollywood standards of how her body should look. And I thought she looked great after she had, when she started coming back on stage, she had that little thigh gap and the body was just full on fabulous. It didn't look like she got the Kim Kardashian special. It looked like Beyonce basically put in the discipline to, get her body right. I will say this though, out of the Vogue, she also talked about her ancestry, that, about that she's a descendant of slave owners, but I'm like, well, who of that is black isn't a descendant of some damn slave owners? I think we all are like, look at my damn complexion. I believe that. I'm sure that a slave master done raped plenty of my damn ancestors. So, there's a bunch of mixtures up in this mug, but I'm just saying in general. But, I don't know. I applaud how far Beyonce has come, but I have to say I was not feeling those photos. I think out of the 2 Vogue shoots that I saw between Rihanna and Beyonce, I'm going to have to go with Rihanna's. And it's because in British Vogue are more high fashion or more avant-garde in their approach of fashion and that sort of thing. So that's probably why I like hers more. Because I didn't particularly care for Beyonce's. I didn't like the whole flower hat thing. Like, it was giving me very much Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Like, I was just not necessarily, I wasn't really, I didn't like it. But anyway, so, back to the story about, Tyler Mitchell. He basically was saying that the person, that it wasn't, because, a lot of people were basically saying that Beyonce was the one who handpicked him to be in the shoot or to photograph the shoot. But the word is that Anna Wintour, what was it? Anna Wintour and this guy, I forget his last name, Raul, are the ones who selected him, that it wasn't Beyonce. So he was probably brought to her and that sort of thing. There's also a story coming out from Radar Online that's basically saying that Beyonce wasn't even the first choice to be on the cover of Vogue magazine, that the person who they were deciding on that they wanted to put on the cover was Meghan Markle. But since Meghan was like, no, she didn't want to do it, then they chose Beyonce, which is kind of shady. But this is according to, Rob Shooter's Naughty, a Nice podcast. So is it true? I don't know. I don't put nothing past Anna. And the word on the street, this is actually, she's supposed to be on her way out of Vogue. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just been the rumor that this might be her final September issue that she's looking to leave. And I think she's been with Vogue for 3 decades? But anyway, so they were saying that they had no idea that she was the second choice for the issue. That how it came out is that everyone at Condé Nast began gossiping as soon as the new Duchess of Sussex passed. So Radar readers are saying that Meghan, who was 37, had yet to do an interview as a royal. The last time she spoke to reporters was when she got engaged to Prince Harry and discussed what her career in life would look like from then on. So, I don't know. So, whether or not Beyonce was the first, second, or 9th choice, history has been made. We have a young black photographer who made the cover, who got to photograph Beyonce for the September issue. The September issue is a big deal in fashion. So I feel like that's pretty awesome that happened. But if Beyonce's a second choice? Okay. She's still on the cover. It doesn't matter. So, okay, let's move on. Let's talk about R. Kelly. So, we already know that well, in case you don't know, I'll refresh or let you guys know. R. Kelly's ex-wife, damn, I forgot her name. I almost called her Cherie. That was Will Smith's ex, because I'm thinking of, what was it, Hollywood Divas or whatever that show that they were on. Andrea Kelly came out with it was like a response song for his song that he called I Admit. So now his brother, who I remember way back in the day, did an interview exclusively with Wendy Williams, putting his brother on blast, talking about all the shenanigans that happened back in the day, because, you know, this was around the time that the R. Kelly sex tape came out where he urinated on a 14-year-old, allegedly. Wow, fuck alleged. It's a thing. I seen the video. A lot of us seen the video. It's not alleged. It's a fucking fact. Whatever. So his brother, who spoke out back in the day, has come back and come with a song called I Confess. And what he is implying is that R. Kelly is trapped in the closet. And I don't mean that long ass song. I mean the closet, as in the celluloid closet, as what they used to call it back in the day when the gays were hiding in their little glass closet. So the song is 3 minutes. And, what was it? Killer Kelly accuses his estranged brother of not only having sex with gay men, but is spreading STDs, getting him blackballed from the music industry. So those are the things. So he's having sex with men, spreading STDs, and getting blackballed for the music industry. So basically the lyrics goes, I admit I miss my brother's brothers, but I admit they weren't acting like brothers. Yeah, we had our differences, but you don't turn on your brother. No for nothing, for no one, nada, no. Mama Joanna's watching, no. He must be doing runs up in this damn song, because I haven't heard it yet. She must be turning over in her gravy. Yeah. Was he doing a what do you call it? A Trey Songz, yeah? Or Usher, yeah? Yeah. So, he also goes on to say, you gave them females some crazy disease. I want you to know that mama's not pleased. Man, tell me how them niggas tight when they all got a wife. Something ain't right. Something smell fishy. What's going on? What kind of man want to stay a night in a man's home? Well, a gay man. That's who stays in a man's home. And then, what was it? They were saying that, well, of course, well, not of course, in case you didn't hear. Earlier in the year, a 19-year-old claimed that R. Kelly intentionally and knowingly gave her herpes when they were in the relationship. So maybe his brother knows what he's talking about. I have not heard the song I Confess. I'll try to listen. So I don't even know if it's good or not. Let me know. And I'll listen to it. I'll probably later in the week, if I do another video and something more comes out of this, I'll speak on it. So there's a new study that was done, which I'm like, okay, can y'all stop wasting money on dumbass studies? Because this is a study that I think, like, even Helen Keller would know this to be true. So, new research from the London School of Economics found that exposure to materialistic media and shows that glamorize fame, luxury, and wealth accumulation may bring about anti-welfare and materialistic sentiments. So they're basically saying that if you watch shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, or if a show that exploits wealth, which would be like The Real Housewives or something like that, that it makes you a horrible human being. So they're saying that 2 control groups, 487 adults in total, were shown distinct media. One group has shown adverts for luxury products and photos of rich celebrities, and the other neutral images about public transport, natural scenery, and more. Results show that even a small amount of exposure to materialistic media had a negative impact on both anti-welfare attitudes and support for anti-welfare policies. Well, when it comes down to it, the Kardashians aren't a group of people that have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. They already had a leg up. They already had the little silver spoon. They just made it bigger. They've been able to expand upon the wealth. And it just goes to show that how our culture is, that we put so much emphasis on money and glamour and materialistic things than we do on our own happiness or on how we're going to get where we need to go in the world. It's unfortunate, but it's just how the cookie crumbles, apparently, and it's the way people are. The only thing we could do as human beings is try to be better human beings. But I always feel like this. I don't think money and materialistic things can always make you a dick or make you a horrible person, because there's